what have the past couple days been like? I figured probably went back to a phone that was kind of blown up a little bit with people reaching out.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been hectic. A lot of people texting, calling me, or you made sports center top one player or whatever it is, and this and that. So it's like it was crazy. But I had to like block everything out for distractions.
Anybody unexpected that you hear from that you were surprised to?
Uh, not really. It just I mean it's like a lot of people like I never heard, like seen or heard of, like texting you. But I mean I was like, how this person got my number or something like that. So it's crazy.
They asking you what got into you? I mean, do they want to know how all of us, not all of a sudden, you're playing really well since your injury, but you remember David Thompson from North Carolina State? That's who it reminded me of.
Yeah, a lot of people's asking me like, uh, where this energy been this whole time, stuff like that, and it was just crazy.
How do you answer questions?
I just
Like it's always been there.
like yeah, it always been there. It just I just been like going through a lot. The first half of the season and stuff. Like I lost a loved one, my grandmother. So like it's been like like a rough year for me. So I had to like come back together. So
When did your grandmother pass away?
she passed away during the summertime before we went to Italy for a trip in July, and it's like just been so rough for me like from the past year because like that's like my mother.
Your game individually, though, do you feel a lot more confident now, even maybe in the last couple practices since that game?
Uh, even before that game happened, I was just like couple of games I just felt more comfortable. After the injury, I just felt more comfortable and playing like usual myself.
Were you amped up because it was Duke and it was in Cameron? Was that in your mindset at all? Boy, I better, Vernon Carey that.
It was just like I said. Was after the interview after the game. It was just like another game. It was just more like a more environment, like because it's Coach Homestead. I mean home. So he was like he wanted to win that game, so I was just wanting to win for him.
What does a game like that potentially do for you as a player, though, as far as your confidence and as far as instilling some kind of belief in you that, every time that you go out there, it may not be exactly like that, but that's within you.
Uh, like Coach said, like games like that, it really tells like you really could play with anybody. Our team could play with anybody and beat anybody. Uh, and that's what we showed at Duke. Like we could play with anybody, any level. So like that's what he preaches to us every day in practice. Like we could play with anybody. It's just up to us how we handle it.
Difficult to kind of keep perspective after you have a big game like that, but it's in a loss.
Yeah, it's just because like you want to do good like individual, and then also you want to do good as a team, and like even though like I had a good individual game, but it's like I couldn't really enjoy it because we lost, and that's the game we really wanted to win because we've been on a 2 game losing streak, so we wanted to win that game to boost our momentum back up.
You guys are ahead of Miami in the standings, and they beat you earlier. But you guys, in your heart of hearts, probably think you have a better team. Is there a revenge factor going on this weekend?
It's more so that you said revenge. Also, we just want to be able to like to get back into our style of play, like how we've been playing these last couple of games. We need to use that for the first 20 minutes of the game just to get wired up. So like that's what we lacking at the most. We start the game off kind of sluggish, but we try to pick it up at the last minute when it's too late. But it's more so a revenge because like we want to win it at home.
I know Chris Legs has missed the last 2 games. Are you guys preparing for him to be out there, or both preparing for him not to be out there as well?
We preparing for whoever's on the roster. We gotta prepare for whoever because anybody can have a good game. Besides, even Chris, like if he don't play or not play, they still a good team.
Decent early months of the season, you're obviously dealing with an immense personal loss, but what else do you feel like between maybe the first month and a half of the season and the past month and a half, what's changed? Do you feel like what have been the biggest changes?
It's just more mentally. Uh, it's just that you got like coaches like they had to help me a lot with off the court stuff because like it was messing with me like physically and mentally on the court. So like I had to like do a lot of stuff like off the court with the coaches, talk to them and stuff like that. And that's what and I just had peace of mind. Like I had to accept the fact that she's in a better place and stuff like that, and that's what helped me out a lot.
I read some things recently that some people consider you like the third freshman out of that group last year. Did you ever consider yourself the third freshman? Because Xavier was freshman, all freshman team, and Trey scored a lot. Did you ever think yourself that way?
I mean, I really didn't think about it. I mean, that much. A lot of people did, but I really didn't think about it. I just know I was a freshman. I just come in and play, and that's all I was worried about, just playing and producing. But it wasn't nothing like that.
You happy with the way your career's gone so far?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's been a process, a long journey, you know. So like, I'm enjoying the process.
What have you learned about college basketball since you first got here?
I learned like sometimes. I mean, you just got to be patient with everything. Everything is a process. So like, you got to just follow. You got to take baby steps to everything. Like, it's just a learning process.
Obviously, aside from I guess one of the bigger showcases in the Duke game was Kareem doing what he did in 22 minutes. How much of the guy that you guys saw out there is the person that you see like in practices and in workouts?
Kareem, I always knew Kareem was special because every practice, every time he even get in the game, he also just plays his butt off. And I guess I don't know what it was. It was like something just clicked in his mind. Like it was just a different Kareem. Like it was just another level of Kareem that I never seen before. But I always seen like the potential he had, but it just he actually showed it and displayed it in the game when it mattered. So.
How does he seem to adjust to everything? With college basketball, he's obviously someone who hasn't lived in the United States that long. How does he seem to be, I guess, handling the transition?
He handled it pretty better than what we would thought he would. Uh, Definitely because I mean he played over in Mali, so they played World Cup or what however you said. Yeah, so like it's like a big transition for him. 'Cause I know it's different because like it's different rules and all of that stuff overseas and stuff like that. But he came back over here and adjusted real quick to that. And
Do you expect to see a different Pitt team overall in the last half of the ACC season?
yes, sir. Most definitely. This it just feels so much like comfortable and like confidence in this team because like it's not like how we like okay we lose and we like oh dang like this is this is it like nah it's like we just got to fight and it's like we got to prove like a lot and that's what we've been doing proving a lot and that's it's coming apart.
But he's back to that first matchup with Miami. You guys shot it really poorly in the first half. Second half, you got it going more. Did something change? That's something you can carry over, do you think, into this game the whole way?
Yeah, I mean, even when we don't make shots, like Coach said, it's not even about like the offense. The offense coming, you know. We just was lacking on the things that we do good at is playing defense, and our defense is turning into our offense, and that's what we was lacking in the first half of the game. And Miami got up on a run, and it was just hard to come back from it because we dug ourselves a hole and we couldn't get out of it. But that's the mindset we had to come into every game.
Adis, we talked to some of your teammates last week about music, about how you kind of bring some of that southern rap to the locker room and to music that gets played pregame. Do you take requests at all when you're coming up with that playlist, or is it?
Yeah, it's just like it's just the type vibe I'm like. I mean, in certain games, it's just like it's like a different music. Like I always feeling or something, so it's like I always like, oh, yeah, let's listen to this music right here, and then they just put it on, and we just be hype, and then come out into warm ups, and we so hype, amped up in the locker room from listening to the song we playing, and be just transferred into the court, and everybody just be excited, ready to play.
The vibe that you're trying to create right now? Is there someone you're really into right now you guys are listening to?
I really like Quando Rondo, Lil Baby and stuff like that. I like listening to people like that. I mean, cause it's just like they songs just like amp you up, you know, and they be talking about the real world and stuff like that's happening in the real world. It just makes you motivated to like want to do good and anything you want to do, put your mind to.
Did you have to introduce any of that music to those guys like Kenna or Kareem who come from overseas?
Yeah, I had to at first because it was like who is these people, and I was like it's that southern music, and they started listening to it more and more, and they started liking them.